Hi there, and welcome back to the HQ. Today, we are going to be reacting to which Pokemon is the worst pet? Johto by mcfumbles. So, the last time we went through one of these videos, it was only the Kanto region, and Porygon came out on top. And I believe the worst Pokepet of that time was Hypno. So, you know. So the worst Pokepet is a guy who belongs on, is a dude who belongs on the registry, and the best Pokepet is a Digimon. So let's see how they rank out with the Johto region this time. So let's jump right in and see where these pets rank out now. I wonder what pets will be ranking this time. I mean, of course, it's only the Johto region, but I wonder who will be the best and worst here.
Pokemon!
Oh, more Pokemans.
Again. Listen,
Again.
Explaining Pokemon the first time was insulting. Explaining Pokemon a second time would be a death threat. We're back again to talk turkey.
I mean, it would be kind of a waste of time. Everybody knows what Pokemon are.
Over from Kanto to Johto this time to discuss all manner of potential partners. Who knows? Given the abundance of evolutions in this region, some mons that bottomed out near the tail end of the last list might get a second shot.
Maybe.
But this region is also the same one that introduced Evil type.
Oh,
they tried to doll it
yeah,
up
dark
in English
types.
with a dark type, but what are the chances that a creature that was born evil is gonna pee on the newspaper?
Also, real talk, the chick from Team Go Rocket, the Go Rocket like admin, the lady, God, she is such a bad bitch though. Like, for real, dog. Like, I'm looking at her, it's like, like, God, like something about just tall, dominating women just take me out. And it's like, is this the way that I mean, really, like, anybody who's right in their mind would think the same thing about Cottontail. And I don't mean to steal Luminous Red's thunder here, but, oh, fuck me, goddamn, I would want things to happen to me in Cottontail's presence.
Reminder, these pets are being graded based on how easy it is to house them, if they have a good typing for pet ownership, determined by this graph, if they're a well-behaved
fairy types
Pokemon,
are the best, of course.
If they're safe to be around, and finally, if it's an easy animal to take care of.
Also,
With
that's,
Steel
you know,
type being introduced alongside Dark, you might need to start penciling in some polish to keep that coat nice and shiny.
Gotta get that
After
WD-40.
tallying up the scores, we'll go over the 5 overachievers, who are everything you could ever want in a pet, as well as the underachievers, who, at best, didn't pass in work, and at worst are gonna show you if your intestines match the curtains.
Oh. Also, real talk, I have not played the Pokemon, God, what is it? MOBA. I have not played the Pokemon MOBA at all. Like, I rarely play Pokemon, I can't say I rarely play Pokemon spin-offs, because it's like, I played a bunch of Pokopia. I really need to get back on that, too, because I haven't played it in a minute. And I played the crap out. I love Mystery Dungeon, and I played some of Rangers. I played like the first one and none others. But yeah, I love spin-offs of games. Hi there, Okonen.
Starting out the list is Mr. Lonely, the sole representative of his grade, and avoided being a worst pet contender by a mere 0.5 points.
Poor
Remember how I said
Steelix.
some Pokemon would get a second chance to impress? It's also a second chance to get worse.
Yep.
Onix wasn't a high-ranking Pokemon before,
Poor Steelix.
coming in with a 5 of his own, but Steelix manages to dig his way even deeper onto the list.
Yeah,
in fact,
that's
exactly how we got into this
that
mess in
steel
the first
typing is
place.
probably not helping him
Steelixes
any,
are born when an Onix burrows deep underground, some deeper than half a mile.
Oh.
This can also take up to 100 years to fully play out. So if you're in
Why
the
are they
market for a
digging so
present for
deep?
your great-grandson's 21st birthday, teach Onix dig. When it finally does show back up, he's not any easier to take care of than Onix was, still shoveling delicious dirt into its mouth for nutrients, which means that, like it or not, you're now the town moat maker. His jaw is strong enough to crack through
that's
boulders.
useful.
If you think your unweatherized shed is safe, think again. Imagine going to adopt a cat and coming back with a cat bulldozer. You dug your grave, now dig it deeper. 5 is another lonely number, as its sole representative is one of Johto's legendary beasts. Entei is a
The big
bundle
cat,
of complicated
the big kitten
feelings
over
all
here, the
trapped
big
inside
lion.
one big grumpy cat. A common trait among all 3 beasts is an inability to sit still. These 3 were the first roaming legendaries in Pokemon, and nothing short of contracting out a Dugtrio is gonna keep them from running. Not rain, nor sleep, nor snow is gonna stop these guys from getting where they want to go, which is far away from you and your dollar store treats. Then once you get your hands on the thing, it only gets more complicated. When this Pokemon barks, somewhere in the world a volcano erupts. Not often a fire type deals psychic damage, but knowing that when Entei sees the mail truck, whole civilizations are it's pretty haunting. Of the 3 beasts, it's also the most ornery, while Suicune is off purifying lakes and, you know, not being an ice type for some reason.
Yeah, why is Suicune an ice type? Like, you would think Suicune... Or, wait, it's not an ice type. Yeah, like, I would think it would be water ice, or maybe ice. Like, Suicune, I'm pretty sure is water type. I haven't checked the type charts in a minute, but yeah.
And Raikou is off chasing its tail, Entei is kidnapping women.
Oh, yeah.
I know it's an
Oh,
illusion
God,
of
yeah.
him, but
I mean, technically it is Raikou, but not Raikou. But technically it is Entei, but not Entei. Not Raikou. But yeah, very sussy of you, Entei.
the real Entei didn't seem too eager to clear up the confusion. I just think that's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, we tally up the numbers, Entei definitely wins the kidnapping women competition. 6 is when the categories finally start getting some meat on them, as we've got 4 Pokemon
Oh,
to tackle.
I see another...
Up first is Forretress.
I see another cat
Not
in there.
Since Electrode has a Pokemon seemingly had so little going for it. On the outside, it's a big metal ball with a few pegs on the side, but on the inside...
It's
well,
a
that's
bomb?
not really known, but it only takes 1 dex entry to turn this from a boulder buddy into one of the most hazardous Pokemon you could ever get.
Forretress,
Is it deadly?
they
Is
like
it
to go boom.
traumatizing? Does it come from Alola? I
Oh.
see a Y in my future. In the Devil's Playground
Yeah,
of
of
Alola,
course
they've
it's
discovered
Alola.
that Forretress handling
Of course
is
it's
actually
Alola.
just a really clever way to cash in on life insurance, since approaching it causes it to fire off sharp metal fragments.
Oh.
Want to know what else fires off sharp
Okay.
metal fragments? Guns.
Oh.
And in case
Of course
the
it's a
more
gun.
daring among
It's a
us
gun.
think they'll just
It's
build
literally
up
just
its
a
trust via
poke
email
gun.
before daring to get close to it, this is not something that Forretress can control. No matter what, as long as you approach him, he'll fire off shrapnel. It's not a conscious action, it's a reflex.
Why would you
Mike,
have
that's
one of
the
those?
Shotgun door trap from Saw. What breed is yours?
Why?
Sneasel is next, and as our first dark type, he fails at leaving much of a positive impression.
Oh.
Dark and ice
Poor
is already
Sneasel.
a miserable type combination for pet owners.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you want
The money
something
that you
evil?
save on lighting
How
your
about...
house immediately goes into cooling it 24/7. It
Well,
loves
shit.
to hunt for itself, but the only thing this little stinker feels comfortable going one-on-one with are unattended eggs. I mean,
Oh,
if
it's an
I
egg
were 4
thief,
times
then.
weak to fighting, I'd also probably try to avoid head-on fights as much as I could, but that doesn't mean you have
Oh,
to
yeah.
like me.
A 4 times weak to fighting. And like, really, any Pokemon that has a 4 times weakness to something, immediately bad time. Immediate bad time.
Worse yet, this is a smart Pokemon. The
Oh,
Dex
yeah.
is constantly
They're crafty
bragging
little
about its
fuckers.
intelligence, which means just like Gengar before it, it's smart enough to know that it's being bad and just doesn't care. Following closely behind
Yeah,
Entei
it
is
just
his
don't-
little
it just
brother
don't give a heck.
Raikou. So, there's a popular theory that when the Brass Tower burned down and Ho-Oh revived the 3 lost Pokemon into the legendary beasts, the Pokemon revived were a Flareon, Jolteon, and Vaporeon. Makes
that does make sense,
The
yeah.
Kimono girls in the dance theater showed that Eevee is clearly important to the town, they followed the type theming, and also ride the line of
I also don't like... God, I do not like the pixel smoothing going on here in this gameplay. I do not like this at all. Goodness, I do not like that. But yeah, you know, it does. What doesn't make sense to me though is like the legendary dogs are very. There I go saying it again. The legendary beasts are very clearly cats, right? Because it's like, because like, because like Entei is very clearly a lion. Like Entei is very clearly a lion. Raikou is a tiger, and Suicune, I think it's a panther or a mountain lion or like some kind, or a leopard maybe. They're very clearly cats, so it feels weird that they're derived from Eevee, which is a fox. Then, just change species when they're brought back from the dead.
Dog or cat, just like Eevee. I think what really solidifies this theory, though, is how just like Jolteon when it comes to being a pet, Raikou is remarkably unremarkable. If middle child syndrome hit Jolteon hard, it backs up over Raikou a few times for good measure. His brothers get movies all to themselves.
Raikou is the big one.
I fished this TV special out of the trash. You want it?
God, why does Raikou get the short end of the stick? Isn't there a movie now with Raikou as like one of the main Pokemon? It's like a shiny Raikou, or was that with like all three of the legendary cats? I can't remember off the top of my head. I have not seen Pokemon movies in a minute. Like the last time I watched anything Pokemon was like the first season of the new Pokemon series, and I haven't watched the second one.
Sure, he's a heck of a lot more dangerous than Jolteon, but it's not exactly hard to say that you can just copy and paste everything about Jolteon, swap out the names, and get the exact same result.
I mean, would you rather have a small electric box thing or a giant saber-toothed tiger?
Was decided by who could wear the most neckties, he'd be a lock.
Oh my god, Raging Bolt.
Technically, a higher score is Gligar. Now, Poison and Flying was already a pretty poor typing combination with Golbat, and it's not going to take much longer to see how bad it is again.
Yeah, Gligar is
another Pokemon with it?
Yeah, it's... Oh.
Ground?
Oh,
what do you
it's not even flying.
Purple scorpion Pokemon.
Oh, it's not even poison. Well, it's poison.
He
not
may
poison.
Not be toxic by type, but he's certainly toxic by nature.
Oh,
Being
true. He does have a stinger.
Means he's gonna take care of most of the hard work for you.
Also that.
But it's how he goes about catching that prey that raises some problems. His hunting tactics involve latching onto the victim's face and injecting them with poison, you say?
Oh.
Now what, you aren't injecting
poison type with no poison.
Now forgive my presumptions, but doesn't that sound like what a poison type would do?
Yeah, it does. It really does.
Noteworthy thing about
the thing is a face hugger.
It likes to make its home up on high cliff faces, which means that housing is only as easy as your chimney is tall.
Oh,
7
spectacular.
Is, again, home to one no-hoper in
the poor Ariados.
All right,
poor
guys,
Ariados.
We're all gonna be real nice
Spooter.
to Ariados and pretend we didn't see this coming from a mile away.
I would have an Ariados as a pet.
That needs to be said that Ariados's bright red coloring doesn't already tell you. A giant poisonous bug as a pet is already a gamble when you can keep it in a terrarium. But when you have to start negotiating out land with it, the dynamic shifts. And this isn't a
Yes, this is Bumble McFumbles 0, and I would totally have an Ariados as a pet. Give it a little scritches.
Drill situation where once it finds a spot, it just completely takes it over. No, Ariados doesn't like having just one spot to itself. It refuses to make just one web and will scatter them all around to catch as much food as possible.
Oh,
even
you're being
leaving
greedy.
A single strand to help it get back to a web quickly.
Oh,
and
wow.
Ariados is a nocturnal hunter, so as you try to sleep, the sounds of a giant spider scuttling around your house will be your white noise. Isn't that pleasant?
Well, it's not any different from all of my cats running back and forth along the halls.
There isn't a lot violent about its dex entries. One even implies this thing can make friends, but all that needs to be taken with a
friendly
grain of
little
salt when
spooter
dealing with a spider that weighs as much as a couple hams. 8 is home to the
ham
next
spider
3 Pokemon, with the first one not being a credit to his type's already abysmal reputation. Murkrow's just a little...
Murkrow.
He's said to be the bearer of ill fortunes and
Murkrow
dread
is
to
just a
whoever
little
sees it at
fucker.
night.
Okay.
But after it swipes the hat off my head for the 15th
The rat
time,
indeed has
I start
cats.
to wonder if it's the Baron of Darkness or just a brat. He's a small bird.
A
which
bratty
means
little
he's pretty
bird.
Easy to house, but you're not gonna really want him inside when
Thank you for the
spends all
follow,
night
Rogerf.
moving your wallet to
Welcome to
keys around
DHQ.
new hiding spots just to watch you waddle around in the morning to try to find them. Assuming it even lets you have them back. Just like Meowth, they love shiny objects.
Yeah,
and
they're little
likely to
peddlers,
hide
little
them in personal
thieves.
spots
They just
only
yoink
can
stuff.
get to. and trying to get them back will only give you the conversation starter of, why do you have those talon marks on your face? He'll probably steal his own food just for the
they do got some pointy
other
talons.
than that,
Jesus.
avoid
They got some pointers.
After him is the soul dragon type of Johto.
Poor
Kingdra.
Kingdra.
His line's middling performance from last time. Always gotta one-up the younger brothers. Seadra was fine, so Kingdra's gotta be terrible. Creates massive whirlpools every time it moves. Notice
every time it moves.
Kingdra should be a majestic water dragon.
Every time it moves.
The region has to call its own, but delving into what Kingdra actually does, it becomes pretty easy to see that it's resting on that majesty. It won't stop talking about how much it sleeps. It's either making whirlpools or sleeping in a cave.
So it's lazy,
like it wants to play
or
fetch,
it just creates the natural disasters. That's just a wonderful pet. Wonderful pet.
When it comes to water dragon types, sure was the first one. Last up is
was the first one indeed.
It's the first one where how awful he is almost wraps back around to being charming. Having a face-to-face chat with this thing requires throwing yourself on the ground. He's slow,
a little feller. He's a little fella.
3 feet tall.
Ever
wonder what it's like to have a mound of dirt as your pet?
He's the same.
Shambles. So what makes him
poor
so bad?
Sandy Gast.
Surely if he's so slow, he can't be up to much, right? Yeah, if you don't count head trauma as much. Thanks to being unable to see,
he got big noggin.
Constant high alert of everything that could be a threat.
Why don't you do some hair clips to pull pull those tufts of fur up? I'm sure that would certainly help.
And will rush headlong into whatever might be a danger to it. This includes attackers, predators, table legs, chair legs, human legs. He covers
my
the whole
poor
spectrum.
dinner
and
table.
It doesn't matter if he's not the fastest. 100-pound pig smashing into you is gonna
100-pound
his eyebrows and
feral hog
it can work, but as is. Wait until Sinnoh. Bad for Pokemon.
Oh yeah, because you know what you want.
Nine is next,
yeah, because what you want is a Mamoswine.
As instructions. Unknown. Folks out there with a favorite letter of the alphabet or who just really fucking hate K are gonna find a lot to love with this thing. But what is this thing? Unknown has threatened for years to have some sort of hidden power or importance that it just never really delivered on. It
not at all.
Around making a low hum, one that gets louder if you own multiple.
You know, because that's what we need. A migraine.
Last year, I made my pets spell a bad word. And getting a bunch of them together is about the only way you're gonna get any value out of them, since when they're alone, all they do is stick to the wall. Despite how much people value Unknown, it's never really done much of note aside from
it's like
an Entei that kidnaps women.
The
flip side of a Pokemon that's not really
the only reason to own an Unknown is the novelty of it.
100% at all times, even when it really shouldn't. And
Caesar is
if you have any experience
kind of
with
intense.
Scyther, you're already gonna have a leg up on training this thing, since it is no different in how strong it is. It's just distributed that strength differently. It might not have changed stat-wise, but ever since it put on that metal coat, it's been a lot more intense.
Yeah, it's been a little sharper.
Might seem safer than scythes, but a scissor is kind of like 2 scythes on its own. So if
it's
Scyther
double
is a
the
danger to
scythes.
you, scissor is like a danger to national security. It's an aggressive hot rod red
this motherfucker trying to invade.
Trying
to invade the D-Ho-D.
This discussion because how best to abuse your dog isn't something to look into when picking him out.
Yeah,
so if I
not a good thing to look into.
Next to his head, that will upset him. But Mega Caesar does give us a look into how serious this thing is. With how it will fight so hard, its body begins to melt. On top comes next, and you've already got an unreliable little pup. You adopt him hoping to see him spin. Look how little time he spends spinning. You're not called
My man is not break.
Now get spinning or get lost.
My man not breakdancing. He ain't hitting that shit.
Types like being overly intense and a bundle of energy and kicks. But what puts Hitmontop this low is a mixture of being a pain to take care of and a pain to get kicked by.
I can't imagine.
Especially when it finally does start.
I can't imagine
and
how hard it hits you.
10 times. But the hardest part of owning a Hitmontop is just getting one. In order to get your hands
Oh
on a
god,
Hitmontop,
don't even get me started.
you need a Tyrogue whose attack stat is the same as his defense stat.
Yeah, trying to evolve a Tyrogue into what you want is such a pain in the ass. Don't even get me started.
Ah, yes, the perfect middle ground between punching and kicking. Kicking. Who'd have thought that a fighter could be such a diva? Finally for 9, and it brings me no pleasure to rate him so lowly. It's Crobat. My
Poor
beloved
Crobat.
bat is sadly not the best of pets. First
Also, hi there, Cubic. Welcome to the HQ. Thank you for the follow.
off, this thing is ginormous. You would peg him at beach ball size, maybe, but no, he's moving sideways through every door he sees.
Yeah, he
He's
is a
blood
big
drinker,
old boy.
too, like a Golbat, so he's gonna require gallons upon gallons of blood every day.
Why did Pokemon Stadium 2 give Crobat the underbite? What the fuck?
And if he's too far away from home, you're gonna
Why
need to
he
pick
got
him
that,
up,
like,
'cause he
goofy,
traded out his legs
underbite?
for extra wings. His fat little body will be there, bursting with yummy plasma, hopefully having killed whatever he got it from so it doesn't come to try to take it back. None of that sounds good, so what makes him worthy
It's
of the
so
90
unsettling to look at.
Well,
Oh my
Crobat
god.
is one of the first Pokemon to not evolve with level ups, stone, or trading.
Hey,
He
Jaquan.
evolves with friendship. The only way for a Crobat to exist is if you've shown a Golbat the sort of love it could have only dreamed of. And this gives it a shockingly high behavior rating. Crobat
Hello to you
learned
too,
how to
Mystic.
love, and it's thanks to you. So it's already your best friend.
Crobat was always a good
Crobat
Pokemon for
cannot
me
exist
in my
without
Heart
the
Gold
milk of human
playthroughs.
Except for one route in Alola during raid battles.
Oh.
10 brings us to the okay pets. These
Okay.
guys might
We got the
not
okay
be the
fellers
first
now.
choice you should go for, but with enough elbow
Okay,
grease,
so we've
you
got
can
an
sculpt them
octopus,
into
a
great
coral
partner.
reef,
Yanma is the first member of
bug,
that group, and he's a mixed
and a
basket that
flying
leans more
stack
towards
of swords.
positive than negative. Of course, if you have one of those houses with windows in them, Yanma might be a bad choice.
Yeah,
since
a little
his wind
bit.
beat is so fast that a sudden stop can create a sonic boom that can shatter glass.
What? Why? Why? Why is it so fast? Why is it so fast? Also, thank you so much for the follow, Danny boy. Welcome to the HQ. God, Yanma, you don't have anything to prove, buddy. You don't need to flap your wings like a fucking machine gun, dude.
And there are parts of your head that aren't as durable as glass.
Also
He's
true.
about 4 feet long, which means he's as long as Piloswine is tall.
Why?
So housing him can be difficult.
Why is he just a giant
But the ease of
4-foot
care on this guy
dragonfly?
is insanely good. Dragonflies in the real world are great at catching pest species like mosquitoes. Yeah, I'd go right the fuck back up if I were you, bozo. This is Yanma country. It's not much
Yeah.
worth keeping track
Goodbye,
of Yanma when he's
Buzzswole.
out of the house since he's so fast, so he's pretty self-sufficient in terms of walks, but he has plenty of problems keeping him from breaking into the higher tiers. Corsola
Yeah.
may be the biggest glass cannon in terms of pet
Oh
ownership.
god.
It's a rock with a face, and it's nice about it. No big
A
old
nice little
sour
rock.
scowl like Geodude. This thing loves life. What little life it gets.
Oh, yeah.
Corsola's problems have
Yeah,
nothing
if,
to do with Corsola. If these two
mm,
stats were different,
if,
Corsola wouldn't
which-
be anywhere near these.
God, which region is it? Which region is the regional course? I'm pretty sure it is Paldean Corsola that evolves into Cursula. Because, you know, it's a dead coral reef. Hmm.
Other jabronis. But its housing and ease of
Oh,
care
Galar?
ruined this thing.
Oh.
Do you have any idea how
Wow.
hard it is to grow coral? Coral may be one of the most fragile forms of life on the planet, needing a perfect ecosystem to survive, and gets hit by pollution worse than almost anything else. That means, unless you keep its water impossibly clean,
God,
changing it out
Galarian
daily
water
to
must be
filter out the
dirty as
impurities,
hell.
Corsola is gonna get really sick. Do you think there's a reason the only other Corsola we know about are the dead ones?
Oh, God.
Octillery is another Pokemon that I wished was higher up because he's just a regular octopus, and I love him for it.
Well, I mean, technically he's just a regular octopus, but his OG design fit a lot more with Remoraid. Because if you don't know, Octillery and Remoraid's designs they're literally like the original designs. I believe it was, I don't know if it was in the original game or the prototypes, but like Remoraid was literally just a gunfish, and Octillery was a tank, which is why like a weird fish evolves into an octopus, because the whole theming was like a gun becoming a tank kind of situation. But yeah, so that's why it's also called Octillery, because octopus artillery.
First off, starting from Remoraid is not gonna prepare you for where this goes. Puberty's a bitch.
Yeah.
Now, it shouldn't be a shocker that an octopus based on tanks is a heavy hitter, but
Oh
it's
yeah,
not just
that
the
thing
attacks
do be
coming out of
spitting
his
though.
mouth you need to look out for, since his head is just as dangerous. Octopi can also be super smart and become attached to their owners if they're treated right. So
Yeah,
not
you got a
smacking
loyal
around
little
artillery
fella.
might just be the key to not having a hole punched in your chest.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
getting carried by typing, I'll admit it. Finally is another Pokemon that should be no surprise to see so low.
Yep, a bird
Skarmory.
made out of swords.
Sometimes
Perfect.
this is really easy. An aggressive bird covered in swords shouldn't need an explanation, but
Yeah,
Skarmory's
that's
too popular,
yeah,
you
you
might
don't
as well
need
get
a
one.
yeah, you don't
you're
need
lucky
to
you're
explain
so
with this little
handsome.
feller.
Shock of shocks. Skarmory isn't actually that poorly behaved. Nothing
Oh.
in the dex leads you to calling it one way or the
Okay.
other, so it's safe to assume that he's a decent pet in that regard.
So it really is just a
Housing,
big
though?
old bird
Well,
made
if you
out of
take
metal.
into account that he's made of metal, it's pretty bad. The two things the Dex loves to talk about when
Yeah,
it comes
it's
to
not a good
Skarmory
idea to
is
piss
how
off a
fast
Skarmory.
He loves to fly and how it molts its steel feathers. That means that while traveling at over 180 miles per hour, there's a chance Skarmory will just randomly drop a samurai sword onto a crowd of unsuspecting people.
Oh,
Keep him
God,
well-groomed
no.
and
Oh,
maybe you can
no.
let him fly like he likes, but if you don't, just make sure to
Oh,
get
that sounds
hero
awful.
suit steamed. 11 is the home to 3 of the most iconic Johto Pokemon, and 3
Oh,
that people are just
God.
gonna be so happy to see solo down.
Oh god, the Nuzlocke killer himself.
Feraligatr seems like
Oh, big
the
Feraligatr,
most cut and dry case
too.
out of any of these.
I mean, he
Pharaoh.
is a gator.
Alligator.
He is a gator.
He was so excited to get to hurting people, he left home without all his vowels. At a hulking 7 foot tall and a massive 195 pounds. What? Real alligators weigh half a ton. You might be able to lift this guy.
Oh,
Feraligatr
sewer
once again
gator.
proves that typing can make up for a lot when it comes to being a pet.
Also, yeah,
As water
Feraligatr is pretty
typing leads to a
anemic.
lot of
Jesus.
negatives, like incredible
7 feet
aggression,
tall and
voracious
100
appetite,
and something
huge
pounds. That is
bulk makes him a
anemic.
pain to keep
Like,
as a pet.
I weigh more than
Like I said,
Feraligatr.
Not hard to see why he ranks so lowly. He's not quite Charizard, but he's not quite better. Umbreon
Yeah,
is next, and
not
from
quite.
one starter to another, I see you, Ore. Umbreon
Oh.
is the highest-rated dark type out of the whole lot.
Oh.
Great. No matter
spectacular.
what I say, it's still an evolution. You're gonna get a certain level of cutesy charm no matter what.
I mean, you're
and housing
basically
it is
getting
as
a
easy
dog.
as any other
You're basically
evolution.
getting a dog.
That said, he's not doing himself any favors.
Oh, yeah, that
The
dark
major
type is
problems with
not,
him are
not
being
supporting.
nocturnal and safety. Can't really play with him much if you two have completely opposite sleep schedules. But what's
Ooh,
worse
I'm
is
not
that out of
opposite.
self-defense,
In
Umbreon
fact,
has
I'm
the
a night
ability to
owl.
sweat.
I'm a night rat.
Oh, poison! I've said this for
But
years,
what?
but now I'm sure of it.
Why does
Johto
it
is just
sweat
cancel
poison?
again. Your dog works up a sweat, suddenly the air reeks of death. It's
Why
a
does
weird
it
trait
sweat
for watching
poison?
rays light up. Lastly is Wobbuffet. So let's get the big one out of the way. What you exactly would do with a Wobbuffet is a mystery.
You can keep it around for home intruders. Somebody tries to break in, Destiny Bond. I'm sure there's plenty of things that a Wobbuffet could do to a home intruder.
Closest thing you can compare it to is a punching bag, but you don't buy a dog
punching
to practice
bag
rope-a-dope
that
on
hits
it, so
back
the problem really comes
and hits
from
back twice
what
as
exactly
hard.
does Wobbuffet do? At least Wynot has legs. All we know about Wobbuffet is that it doesn't like bright lights, so I guess keep it indoors?
Well,
Honestly,
Wobbuffet
he
hits
kinda
twice
makes
as
a better
hard
home defense
and has
system
4
than a
feet.
pet in that regard. He sees somebody walk in, Destiny Bond. 12
Oh,
is our
yeah.
biggest class yet. with a
Yeah,
crowd
that'll
of
do it.
5,
We were-
including a few
God.
of Johto's
We were on the same wavelength there.
best and brightest, who just so happen to completely fail at being pets. Typhlosion is first, and
Poor
normally those
Typhlosion.
exposed
Not helped by the
flames would be
fire
an
type.
issue, but a trip to the third dimension seems to have curtailed any worry of that. That retractable flame is about an equal exchange for an apparent secret
bad.
technique Typhlosion knows where it can rub its fur together to create an explosion. Yeah, dude.
Huh?
It's called explosion. Licky Licky can learn it too. Without the exposed flame, Typhlosion is about as close to a normal type as you can get, and
Kind
without
of.
any mention of a 10,000 degree hot sack, it makes him fine. Getting a Typhlosion
I
over
prefer
a
the,
normal type
I
is
prefer
like
the
getting a
Hisui in
dog who
Typhlosion, though,
knows
but it
how
also
to make a
ghost type.
Molotov cocktail. He might not do it, but just get a pug for God's sake. Jumpluff is absolutely bizarre. This thing shouldn't be as low as it is. It's just a ball that jumps, right? Well,
Oh.
for the most part,
A little jumpy ball.
it's just that. But thanks to Scarlet and Violet, this thing's credit took a humongous hit.
What?
Somehow, the
What
less
happened?
offensive one is Violet, who talks about how breathing in near a Jumpluff is likely to have you breathing in spores that cause horrible coughing and itches.
Oh.
Yeah, breathing? You might want to put that on the hold when Jumpluff's around.
Oh.
That makes its yearly floats around the world on the spring
That's not
breeze
good.
seem sinister when you know the side effects. But it's Scarlet that really puts this thing so far down.
What does
Those
Scarlet
travels
say?
around the world it does to spread its spores, they have to end eventually, and
Huh?
when the trip ends, they do too.
What? So they just travel around and then they die? Is this like... This is like Bye Bye Butterfree on steroids. What? Why? Why would they want to live such a cruel existence at that point to stay a Skip Bloom or a Hoppip? Bruh.
A Jumpluff who loses all of its spores dies, and given
God,
how this
why?
Pokemon leaves home when the breeze rolls in, your Jumpluff is just gonna vanish one day, and the only solace you get
Oh,
is
God,
that one
no.
day it'll die. I can't live with
That's
that.
the
Do you know
solace.
how sad it will be when Jumpluff just vanishes one day, and then a few days later, you hear a knocking on the door? It's a baby Hoppip that has the exact same face that your Jumpluff has, and it
Oh,
jumps up into your
no.
arms like it's known you its entire life just because you treated Jumpluff so good. I'm not emotionally ready for Jumpluff.
Oh, no.
If Octillery and Crobat were hard for me to rate lowly,
Oh,
rating
poor
what was once
Heracross.
my absolute favorite is
Poor Heracross.
heartbreaking, but if Pinsir got this low, Heracross has got to be here too.
Yeah,
So,
that bug
Heracross
typing
a
is not
parallel to
helping.
Pinsir in a lot of ways, where one is a stag beetle, Heracross is a Hercules beetle, and swaps out a pair of mandibles for a great big horn. That
big,
horn
pointy,
is cause
stabby
for
horn.
alarm, since he loves tossing things with it.
Oh,
So
yeah,
while
that
he
this
can't
motherfucker
keep
is a
attackers at
chuckster.
bay, he's also likely to send a log flying through your roof because he wanted to see if he could throw it. Ease of care, though, is a huge boon to him.
Why?
Since he loves nectar and honey. You know exactly what to buy, and it's not hard to find it occurring naturally. Trees have nectar and honey coming out the wazoo. And some
Well, that's
Pokemon,
good.
like Bulbasaur, have it coming out their wazoo.
Oh, yeah, like-
Heracross isn't
Oh yeah, I remember from the anime, Ash's Heracross always having the habit of just drinking out of Bulbasaur's bulb. It was always such a funny, like, visual gag to me.
bad, but you need to know exactly what you're doing. Now, if
Oh, yeah.
there was a Jack's preference category, Heracross would be number one, no problems, but I can't do that. Donphan is next.
you can't
and a
have
design
preferences.
Like this is one that's built to last. As long as people exist, we'll be liking Donphan. Just like
Very
with
true.
Jumpluff, Paldea helped characterize
Donphan is a
Donphan
very
little
cool
better,
Pokemon.
But instead of a rag,
I mean, it's literally just- it's literally just a tire.
It as Donphan is pretty calm. When it isn't calm, though, which it seems to be a lot, it will curl up into a ball and barrel headlong into whatever's causing it trouble.
Well,
Nearly
shit.
300 pounds of Elephant charging at you.
300
doesn't sound like something you
pounds.
would want to see, but at the very
This thing
least,
is
you
through
can rest
almost
assured
3
knowing
times the
Donphan
weight
will
of
be
a
fine, since
Feraligatr.
It's very hard to superficially damage. Yeah, he treated the I-95 like a bowling alley and took out a couple dozen cars, but he doesn't need a bath, and he wouldn't want one either. Ground types hate that.
Oh, yeah.
Again, specialized
No
care is a
baths.
must. Finally is Lugia, who is not
Big
a
ol'
water
birdie.
type. Lugia is not a water type. Lives under the water, parallel to a fire type.
Yeah. Heracross did love that suck. Mm.
Psychic? Of course it is! They aren't gonna make one box legendary super effective against the other. Dear Game Freak. Die, bitch. Love Groudon. Co-signed by Solgaleo. Just like with a Pokemon like Jumpluff or Venomoth,
Oh my
its real
god.
destructive potential isn't because it's mean, but because it has to move. A Lugia on the move has the ability to, at least, destroy a house, and if he's really getting up and going, he can cause a 40-day-long storm. What the hell is gonna be left after 40 days of storms? Well,
40-day
water,
storm.
Which it isn't. Lugia's ease of care comes from how it just doesn't really need your help. It's a giant
it's
whale monster
pretty
that lives at
independent.
the bottom of the ocean. What are you gonna do?
It's pretty independent.
And if I may,
It's a big
I'd
whale
like to
bird.
propose that Lugia is some sort of chaos sigil that does mental damage to anybody who looks at him for too long. It's happened twice now. All I'm saying is that calling the Ultra Beasts Lovecraftian is a bit disingenuous when this guy's been driving players insane for over 20 years.
Poor Kyurem.
Pokemon
Like
saddled
that one
with the
too.
unlucky number 13 start out with your friend and mine, Dunsparce. Everybody's
poor
favorite lump of yellow
Dunsparce.
clay is our bridge towards... yeah, that's fine, I guess, since he's very standard in a lot of ways.
And then you
He
get
thanks
the
God every
Dunsparce.
day he was born a normal type, as it helps out his rather standard stats all around. He's easy to care for, well-behaved, and not much
very
of a danger
easy.
if you don't count the drill, but what's he gonna menace with that, wine corks? Housing, though, is his Achilles heel, since whenever he spots someone
he is
he doesn't recognize, his immediate reflex is to burrow underground. He's gonna dig his way from the living room to the basement a lot.
Why would he just dig?
He's not a bad
Why
choice, but
immediately
going to the dog
dig?
park might be a bit boring with him being underground all the time. And while I'm at it, I just want to hop up on my handy-dandy soapbox and say if you can't appreciate the Dunsparce, I don't think Pokemon's for you. He
Big
is
old goofy,
wonderful
the
and the manifestation
Dunsparce.
of malicious compliance. Oh, you want more Dunsparce? Here you go! Have a double! No,
A
triple!
big old
Following him is
Dunsparce.
another
Da
Pokemon who
Dunsparce.
kisses the ground Scarlet and Violet walks on, Girafarig. Girafarig is a Pokemon kinda defined by its solitary gimmick. Finding a dex entry about anything other than its butt head and the brain inside that head is impossible. It's always talking
I
about
imagine
how it
like
stays up while Girafarig sleeps.
I imagine it's like Stantler, where it just doesn't have anything else going for it, except for that one gimmick.
Or how it might bite someone who tries to approach him from the rear. But other than that, it doesn't mention much else. What we do get is that it's a grazer, eating grass and tree shoots, which means that's ease of care taken care of. And it's
that's good at
relatively
least.
small
So,
size,
you know, you
means
don't
you're
gotta
not in
worry
danger
about
of
it, you
ruining
know,
your lawn.
you
It's
know,
nice to see a
destroying
psychic
your
type that
neighborhood.
doesn't see you thinking and take it as an insult. Finally is Ursaring, who is trying
just
as
a
hard
big
as
bear.
possible to prove that being a normal type means you don't have to try that hard. Now,
You know,
try to
until it
believe me,
evolves.
he is not poorly behaved. Yeah, that's
He's
right.
a
Pet
big
him,
old
tug
teddy.
His fur, pat his belly, steal his baby. He'll be cool.
Oh.
It never talks about how violent it is or an incident where it bit a kid's head off. No, instead it talks about how Ursaring is a very hungry bear who likes to eat honey and berries.
He likes
It
to
doesn't
have
matter
a
if it
picnic
goes
basket.
unsaid, it's a bear. He's still gonna be dangerous. He's just
clearly.
not being a dickhead for no reason. 14
Oh, yeah, that's for
houses just
Ursaluna.
one Pokemon, Noctowl. Noctowl's normal flying type means he's in stiff competition with heavy hitters like Pidgeot. And while he's not bad by any stretch, he's got a few issues that keep him from being a really good
Yeah, the
pet.
Nocturnal
One problem it
is,
doesn't have, surprisingly, is housing. That's
Oh,
because
yeah, I mean,
even
it's
though
just a bird.
nocturnal, like a lot of other Pokemon, its feathery down means that it flies in almost total silence.
Oh.
It's a hunter, which means you don't have to worry about food, and also incredibly expressive, with it easy to read its mood based on its head orientation. If it's right side up, you're
Yeah.
doing something right. If it's upside down, flee town.
Oh.
Poor Noctowl, though. What a massive variety of types it could have been, only to have them all stolen out from under him. Oh,
It could have been
he's
a psychic
smart bird,
flying.
So, psychic flying.
Yeah.
Zatsu.
Zatsu.
He hunts at night, so dark flying.
Oh.
Ghost
God.
flying?
Oh.
Man, I can't keep up. You're telling me 15 comes after 14? We're into the good pets now.
We
These
finally got
guys
good
are
pets.
rock solid and only have room to grow from here. And who better to usher in
Oh,
this era of
milk
better
tank.
pets than every Johto player's favorite friend?
Yeah. The milk tank. You get all the milk, and you know why have that? Why have moo moo milk when you can have rat milk? You know, from your rat mama.
Miltank. Check under your seats. Barf bags were provided.
Oh.
While it's downright pleasant in almost every way, ease of care and housing tank this Pokemon's performance. Cause it's a cow.
It is a
Do
cow,
you ever
yes.
wonder why casual cow ownership never really caught on? It's cause taking care of a cow is hard work.
Oh,
So much
most
food
definitely.
and
Like,
land goes
as
into
someone who
raising a
lives
healthy cow.
near several farms, yeah, I've seen how difficult it is to take care of cows.
That you're dedicating loads of time, energy, and money into meeting its needs. That's on top of the 5 gallons of milk it produces every day, meaning
5
you're a milkman
gallons?
now, whether you want to be or not.
Goodness,
Sudden
I gotta
career
step up my
pivots
game.
aside, it's really good in all other aspects. It's a happy, plump little cow that loves rolling around and drinking milk. Does it curl up into
Good
a
old
ball
rollout.
and suck on its own teat, or does it spray the milk directly up into its mouth? By owning a milk tank, you can find the answers to one of life's greatest mysteries. Stantler.
Why
is
would you wanna know
next,
that?
And, well,
Oh yeah, Stantler,
sometimes
the
you
boring
get
one.
who's just straight down the middle. Is there anything interesting about Stantler?
Boring
No.
deer.
Is there anything wrong with Stantler? No. Are we staying here any longer?
No.
No. Mantine is next and has quite a bit to talk about. The
Oh?
wind-riding manta ray is an incredibly
What's it have to
friendly
talk about?
Pokemon, with it becoming a popular pastime in Alola to swim and surf alongside them. It's mellow
you
enough
can
to
surf
let
on 'em.
Remoraid swim alongside it, hunts on its own, and doesn't seem to have a mean bone in its body.
It's funny how the
Problem is, he
Mantine
has too
model
many
from,
nice bones.
Stadium
Mantine
2
is
just
big.
has a Remoraid with it.
Really, really big. A 7-foot wingspan means that there's no way
Oh.
to keep this thing comfortable.
That thing is
and
big.
It's going to need to stay in the ocean. Not even an Olympic-sized swimming pool could keep this guy happy.
Jesus.
You need a pool the size of a football field to make him comfortable.
Wow.
This
God,
is
ooh,
another
God, I
case
couldn't even
where,
imagine
under
having one
very
of those.
specific circumstances, Mantine is a perfect pet.
In
But
very
outside of
specific
its niche,
circumstances.
it's completely unrealistic. 16 is the home to the final legends of Johto, both the bird and
Oh.
beast, and this weird, just a weird lumpy fish. Why does Lantern look like that? I know it's not part of
Lantern.
the grading, but Lanterns always looked real weird to me. I don't know
It's
why.
goofy.
Anyway, electricity and water go
goofy
together,
little
right?
fella.
Obviously, this is a type combination so bad it ought to be a deduction on its own, but
Oh, God.
believe it or not,
Water
it doesn't
electric.
produce the sort of electricity we all associate with electric types. Lantern's lights are all bioluminescent,
Oh.
created by bacteria that lives in it.
Oh,
that means
nifty.
that playtime with Lantern won't turn into a massacre. That must
That's
mean
good.
it's safe, right? Wrong.
Oh.
Flashbang. Lantern's main method
flashbang.
of incapacitating enemies involves flashing its
Lantern is pretty great.
prey.
It's a very
So
good,
brightly it
a
can be seen
very
from
good
the
Pokemon I
surface
had on my
over
team
3
a
miles
few
down.
occasions.
The idea of generating lights that can be seen over 3 miles away in water is
Oh,
horrifying,
wow.
because the thing about
3
those dark
miles
depths,
away.
it's dark. Light travels so poorly through water that to generate intense enough light to be seen that far away would produce so much energy and heat it would just vaporize anything in its vicinity.
Yeah,
so
that's,
how the heck is that safety stat so high if it can give you third-degree
Yeah, that
burns with
is-
its headlights?
What-
I
it-
think
that
it's
would be
safe to assume
evaporating
that
the
it's
ocean.
not busting this out all the time. Living so far down in the ocean is what facilitates needing such a strong light. Above the water,
Jesus.
it's gonna require a lot less to stun an opponent.
Oh my
pull
God, it
back and
floats
be a lot
upside
more
down when it
reasonable.
faints.
So even though it's a big
Oh my
number
God.
and awfully spooky to the average reader,
No.
it's not as bad as it first seems. It's not like his body is made of electricity. That'd be stupid. Politoad
Oh.
proudly presents a pristine power-up for Poliwhirl.
Oh, we're doing this
Figuring
again.
the part for its
We're doing this
progression may
again.
prove pestering, the potent potential of Politoad is plain to peep. Prohibiting punches may appear pedantic, but passing on the possibility
we're really
for
doing this
pugilistic
again.
powers provides prodigious precipitation. Perchance you presumed that
Bumble-
prevents problems, but
I don't even want to
keeping
know
its
how many
personal
takes this
practices
took.
provides proof of putrid performances. Poliwhirl and Poliwag are its proteges, and as principal pioneer of their preparation, its piercing
Oh my
heels
god, we're
produce
still
perfect
going. We're
performances.
still going.
Politoad may please pros pursuing prestigious prizes,
Bruh.
but Politoad's pleasant personality proves phony with puny progeny. Next
I'm just sitting here like, bruh. Huh?
up is Suicune, and it's been so long you may have forgotten, but he's actually in a trio. Yeah,
Oh.
there's like
Oh,
two
yeah.
more of them. One of them wants to be Ash's dad, I guess.
Oh.
Now, what's holding him back is that
Ash does
nothing
need a
holds him
dad.
back. Putting this thing on a leash is just a way to lose a leash. He won't stay
yeah.
still no matter what.
Yeah,
but for
Suicune has
once,
got
he
some work
actually
to
has
do.
somewhere to be. Suicune is a majestic beast who has the magical power to purify water. Which
Yeah,
means
the
you want a
alliteration
dog who's
fucking
making a
killed me.
difference. He's also not the easiest to care for since he's not doing this for his health or, you know, maybe he is. The ease of care
maybe.
is because you need to hold yourself to a higher standard of living or else
Oh,
Suicune
yeah.
is gonna start getting pissed off.
Yeah,
No
no
more
pollution.
littering, gotta sort your bottles and cans, drive a fuel-efficient car. I bet
Oh, God, I wish I could
Suicune would
afford a
love
fuel-efficient car.
break, but as long as
A
that
nice
gas-guzzling
hybrid car.
Rev-a-vroom is in the driveway, I guess he won't get one. Finally is Ho-Oh, and
Big
the first
bird.
thing you're gonna need to get over with Ho-Oh is the moral issues of keeping a beautiful, wish-granting phoenix in your garage. But you're not even gonna get your hands on it if you're not worthy. Ho-Oh only appears to the pure of heart, so if you manage to get so far as to plan out what color to paint his room, he already respects you. Ho-Oh
Yeah.
actually lacks
Yeah.
a lot of the downsides
Because,
that
like,
placed Lugia
with Ho-Oh,
noticeably lower.
It's like Ho-Oh is just a chill dude. Like if you're chilling with Ho-Oh, then you're just chill for life, dog.
Like no disasters in his wake, no issues with housing. Sure, he's still a 12-foot tall, 400-pound bird. But
Oh, yeah.
he's not making
He's
this
a
any
big old
harder than it
birdie.
has to be.
Big
The
old
two
birdie.
all the way up in 17 start with the second in Johto's
Oh, yeah.
statue trio,
Ampharos.
Xatu. What a
Ampharos
pretty
was one of
statue,
my
your
main
friends will say
Pokemon
when they walk
in,
into your house. Thanks, he has
Legend
anxiety.
ZA.
Xatu's in a similar boat to his statuesque brothers in Wobbuffet and Sudowoodo since he's not really up to much.
Oh.
As a psychic type, he has a bit
Poor
more potential
fella.
thanks to his ability to move things with his mind.
Yeah,
but
psychic
there's
types
a
are pretty good.
double-edged sword with Xatu.
Oh?
Sure, his
that?
immobility means he's at no risk of hurting anybody. Why he's standing there, though, is the big issue.
Oh?
Xatu has two eyes. You know, like Onyx. One
Yeah.
eye watches the future while the other observes the past. The most
Why?
generous interpretation is that
Why?
he's immobile because he knows the future will come to pass no matter what, and there's nothing he can do to change it.
Oh?
Alright, my bird has already sunk all the way into nihilism, and you're telling me it gets worse? Yes,
Oh,
in the Omega Ruby
your
entry,
bird
it
is a
discusses
Redditor.
how Xatu will stand motionless out of fear of a horrible future yet to pass. Keeping
Oh.
Xatu around will just be a massive stress spot where looking at
Oh,
it
that's
reminds
not
you,
good.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna die one day.
Oh.
If you can accept your own
Yeah,
mortality, sure, get yourself a
No,
totem.
I don't think so.
Ampharos is next, and
big
the world's
fella.
most awkward sheep is
A
pretty
big
great as a
goofy
pet.
fella.
First off, if anybody is watching this in a lighthouse, sit down, because you're about to meet your new best friend. Sheep are kind and friendly animals, and as dubious as
Ampharos
its
was a really
species
good
is,
electric type
I'm
for my
inclined
party.
to say it would be just as lovable as a sheep with its wool. Not to mention it's got long dormant dragon blood that awakens when it mega evolves. But
Oh, yeah.
remember, if I see you mega evolving a Pokemon, I'm gonna have to assume you're doing some other heinous shit. 18 is the final group with 5 Mons, and we start
Oh.
with Apom. People love pets with personality.
He got
Dog
the
sneezes
monkey.
Once, now it's the sneezing
Monkey.
dog. Same with the murder dog. Apom is
The
like
moiter
that,
dog.
except there's a great chance you're gonna hate his personality. Apom is a monkey, and while real monkeys can be like a sugar-high baby with the ability to climb anything, Apom seems to be just a little more tempered.
He is a little
Nothing describes
monkey
it as a
fella.
pest or
He's a little
annoying.
monkey
In
fella.
fact, the worst you can levy against him is that he's a klutz. Given
Yeah,
how much he does with his tail, Apom's
Yeah,
own
like, he
hands
doesn't even
grown
have-
clumsy, and he has difficulty
My
holding
mans don't
stuff.
even have
Keely,
fingers.
Not being a dark type means it's a lot more likely Apom will know when he's taken a joke too far, and will give you back whatever it swipes after it's satisfied.
Aw.
Murkrow and Sneasel, meanwhile, are in the backyard burning your
Got that
driver's
Jimmy
license.
here energy.
Sudowoodo is next, and
Monkey.
one of the instances of behavior being so low, not because it's a poorly behaved Pokemon. No, see, it doesn't do enough for
Yeah,
it to be poorly behaved.
It is. It's a
Sudowoodo
standstill.
is obsessed with acting like a tree. It is pseudo-wood, after all.
Very
But that
true.
means you're buying a literal statue most of the time.
Yeah, you're buying
Getting
a
wet and
figure.
things might get hectic, but at least unlike Xatu, whose stoic nature is out of pure cosmic dread, Sudowoodo at least enjoys doing it. And in that context,
He
actually
enjoys
a
that
pretty great
cosplay.
pet.
That
You aren't gonna
tree
catch a
cosplay.
Sudowoodo without knowing what you're getting yourself into. So once you have one, you can join the Sudowoodo fan club. And
Yeah, pretty
subscribe to
much.
their
I mean, that's
magazine,
that's all you could
send
really
in
do.
photos of Sudowoodo and get them graded and learn all there is to know about the rock who wants to be a tree.
Also, it's kind of sad looking back on like Pokemon Stadium 2 models, seeing how much detail was in Sudowoodo, and then you look at this, and it's just a flat matte color with poorly like textured dots on it, where it's supposed to mimic like tree knots and stuff. It's honestly a little sad to look at.
Next is Quagsire. He's just a big, dumb idiot. Plus, he can introduce you to Wooper.
Oh,
Drink
yeah.
the bug milk. You're making
Wooper.
him sad. He's
Wooper's where
making
it's
so
at.
much of it. Drink the bug milk or he's gonna cry. Yeah, that's Shuckle for you. Needing to get him all the
Bug
berries
juice.
he needs to ferment all that bug juice is gonna be quite the pricey endeavor, unless you knuckle down and make your own trees. Other than that, and a harsh typing score, Shuckle's kinda wonderful. He's just a little worm living in a rock, and
He's just a
while
little
it's
worm
gonna be
fella.
awkward when your guests find out where this delicious punch came from, the Pokedex doesn't treat Shuckle's drink-making process like the weird thing
I don't think it's all that weird, really, because I mean, we see a lot of examples in the anime and the show of like people like using Shuckles to like make various juices and stuff. So it's like not exactly uncommon.
absolutely is. It comes down to taste, really, as it does with a lot of bug types, but Shuckle is easily the best one to come out of Johto. Last up for 18 is Delibird, and
Santa Claus.
you can own Santa Claus. Sure, you've got to keep your house
Owning
at sub-zero
Santa.
temperatures, but he's a kind soul. It's impossible to hate a Pokemon who doesn't want to do anything but be nice and spread goodwill. It's not his fault that sometimes there are bombs in his presence. Delibirds throughout
Yeah,
history
that's,
are known to help
not
the
a good
lost and
idea
hungry by
to,
bringing them food.
have
They're
random
great with
bombs
kids,
as
and
presents.
if that housing problem gets too bad, you can always consider picking up an Alolan Delibird, since they're far more resilient to the heat than others.
Very true.
Hypothermia, though, is just a small price to pay for spreading joy like Delibird does. The final stop before the best of the best is 19.
we're almost
and
there.
Once again, an Evolution managed to sneak in. And
Well, of course
this
they do.
time, people haven't been weird about it.
Yet.
As weird about it, Espeon
Oh, trust me. I'm on Twitter. I've seen people get weird about Espeon.
is the sun to Umbreon's moon, which means where Umbreon fails, Espeon succeeds. Umbreon's poisonous sweat is replaced with very sensitive hairs on the tip of Espeon's forked tail. And
Oh,
nobody's
yeah.
ever slipped sensitive hair into tea to kill their rich husband. If you take away the psychic
Yeah.
powers,
Uh,
Espeon's
yeah,
kinda
hair
just
is,
a normal cat. It likes bathing in the sun.
I mean, it
and
is
gets sad
psychic.
when
It's a
cold,
psychic
and
cat.
It's got a jewel. If you haven't found your cat's emerald yet, you're just a bad pet.
Yeah.
Espeon
Yeah,
is
if,
also
yeah, if your cat doesn't have its Chaos Emeralds yet, you got a problem.
another Pokemon where it will only exist if it loves its trainer. And
Also
unlike
true.
Umbreon, it developed its powers further because it wanted to keep its trainer safe.
Oh.
Not because glowing sounded cool. Finally is Ledian, the second
The
half
bug
of
that
Johto's
bites.
poor, underwhelming bug duo. Ledian is a shocking
God,
upset to see.
they really
weakness.
only had
I thought it'd be
a
written
few
off real
bugs,
early
huh?
by some dex entry talking about a time it robbed a gas station, but instead it paints a very cute picture.
Why robbing a
During
gas
the day,
station
it's
specifically?
very sleepy and enjoys curling up in the grass to rest and eat berries. At night, it seems to draw a strange power from the stars themselves and uses that to fuel its fighting efforts.
Oh.
Except as we learn,
This thing is like-
not especially dangerous in that regard.
This thing is like
Just
a
one of his
fucking
fists
Power
is
Ranger.
barely enough to do anything. That's why he needs 4 of them.
What?
You're
So he's
not
a
in any
fighting
danger
type, but
around
he's not
Letty.
really
Even
strong?
the dust it spreads while looking up at the stars is treated as a symbol of good luck.
Oh.
Ledian is really on the cusp of breaking into the 20s, which is where we're moving next, and house our absolute top-tier Poképets. These
Of
are
course.
the gold standards that, if you can get, you absolutely should. 20 is prime real estate, and it belongs solely to the king, Slow
The big king.
That's
Big old boy.
right. When an evil little creature isn't sitting on his head and teaching
You know,
him
except
slurs,
for, you
Slow
know,
King
Gal-
can actually be pretty cool.
Teaching
Now,
why-
he is still getting gallons upon gallons of poison dumped into his brain, but unlike Umbreon and Gligar, he rises above it and only uses
Yeah,
it as
it's
a
like-
brain booster. Slow
This
King is
motherfucker
an
gets a
extremely
brain blast
intelligent
from
Pokemon,
anthrax
able to
poisoning in his
match
brain.
wits with other psychic types like Oranguru, and act as a sage for people in need of advice. While his large
also
size
talked that
might
one
make it a bit
time.
of a tight squeeze, his greatest asset is his temperament. Slow King is easygoing and laid back, while being more alert than Slowpoke. That does mean he's more likely to remember when you forget to buy him those pants you promised, but just don't forget, dummy.
Why would
21 is
Slow
our
King need pants,
introduction
though?
To the first actual dog in this generation, Smeargle. Don't let those overdeveloped
he is an
hind legs
artsy
fool
dog,
you.
though.
This guy's a pup, and a creative one.
He's a
Smeargle's
artsy
main
puppy.
feature is its
A
tail,
little puppy.
and the paint-like fluids it secretes that it uses for drawings. This is the first time secrete and fluids are used to describe a Pokemon that doesn't end in a fatality.
Well, that's
Smeargle is a
good,
kind
I
and
guess.
docile
You know, unless you
Pokemon
try to
with
eat
not
paint,
much of a
that's
care
not
in the
good.
world except how to express itself. Behavior-wise, that can often create problems, since it will wander around town and mark the buildings with graffiti.
Oh,
But if you
oh,
can
you
make sure
got a-
he varies up
You
his
got a little,
designs, they might
you
not
got a little
catch him.
troublemaker, a little
But
devious
even
feller,
then,
huh?
The cost of canvases is offset by the greatest part of owning a Smeargle.
Oh,
He's a
oh.
money-making machine.
Oh.
Collectors go gaga for Smeargle art, so set your little
You better
buddy
have
off
a
on
pretty
the one
creative
thing
one.
He loves more than anything, and by the end of the day, you've paid off your student debt.
Oh,
the trans
if
icon
only.
himself, Azumarill, is next. And
Oh, we love
there's
Azumarill
not
here.
much that
Trans
can really
icon
sell
Azumarill.
more than it does to sell itself. It's a big, beautiful bundle of blue hugs. It's like Stantler,
Big
but in
ol' hug
reverse,
ball.
where why it's so amazing is so plain to see that you don't really need help understanding. Do you
Yeah.
want me to talk about how it loves riverbeds? Do you want to hear about its excellent hearing? How it became fairy type? Or do you just want to look at its face? Our final
give it a
stop
big
on
ol'
the road to the
hug.
top 5 best and worst is 22, and it's a grass type extravaganza.
Ooh,
First
two
up
of my
is the
favorite
Guardian of
grass.
Time, Celebi. At least they used to be. Nowadays, they're kind of the mid-level manager of time.
Ugh,
Thanks a lot,
poor
Dialga.
Celebi.
Celebi is a beacon of
Well,
sorts.
Technically, Dialga isn't the guardian of time, it's the creator of time. So Dialga created time, and Celebi is the one that keeps it safe.
With its arrival heralding a positive and prosperous future. Life just improves with a Celebi around.
I
Not
want a
just your
Celebi.
own, but the life around you. Celebi's
It's a cute
ability
little
to
onion
revive
fella.
plant life and bolster the environment means that it can generate positive feelings all around.
Little onion
An entire
fairy.
city would see its mood improve thanks to Celebi. The only problem is that its nature leads it to leave a lot to travel through time. Where and when it ends up makes it hard to determine when you're gonna get to see it again, but it's also said to leave eggs from the future that it finds.
I mean, from the nature of time travel, wouldn't it just be able to travel to a destination and then travel back like 5 seconds after it left? I mean, if you have that much of a bond with your Celebi, I reckon I could probably make some exceptions like that.
Now, this could be good, but at the same time, you have to think about what Zatu's been saying, cause the future sounds kinda scary. Finally,
Oh yeah, the future is real scary.
Starter ever, Meganium. You'd think that
oh yeah, that
what
pure
amounts to a
grass.
dinosaur would
That pure
be
grass
tough,
typing
but
is doing
at
some
5'11",
heavy lifting.
It's not that tight a squeeze. Besides, it'll be spending most of its time basking in the sun.
Yeah, this thing
It
is
has a
almost,
power
it's
similar
only a
to
little taller
Celebi,
than
where it
me.
can revive dead plants, and has a major bonus over other grass starters. Unlike Venusaur's poison typing, Monograss Meganium doesn't give off poison, but a sweet scent, and calms down aggressive people and Pokemon the same. Meganium's positive influence means it doesn't just help itself, but other Pokemon that can't quite keep their emotions under control.
Yeah, Meganium really grew on me back in the day, watching Team 4-Star and their Pokemon Soul Silver Nuzlocke. And the journey of Mr. Steak from a absolute, like, misery time to being the hard carry of the whole team. Absolutely love it. If you like watching Nuzlocks, just look up TFS Gaming and look up, they've done 3 Nuzlocks. They've done a Leaf Green Nuzlocke, a Soul Silver Nuzlocke, and a Heart Gold, or a Moon Nuzlocke. And I think they also did a Shield Nuzlocke. I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, very fun stuff.
Though, it might not be enough to wrangle the bottom 5, which leads us into the top 5.
Oh?
Except, Johto's funny, cause they went and gave an evolution to the last champ, Porygon. Porygon 2 is pretty much a better Porygon. Same digital tone, ease of care, safety. Heck, the one problem with Porygon was literally smoothed out. So, naturally, he's still the best. So, top 6 best Poképets. No, not that either. Blissey. Yeah, Chansey got an evolution too.
Yeah.
And it's just more Chansey.
So,
top 7 best.
Chansey and Porygon.
The bronze medal.
Once again, takes those
spots. Before we can even
spots.
think about the lofty heights of 3rd place, we've got to deal with our 5th worst Poképet.
Oh.
With a sour mug like that, it's not a surprise Quillfish is not too keen on the pet life, and he's sure to let you know. Quillfish are known to puff up at the sight of danger and launch their spines at their attackers.
Now, is regular Quillfish also water poison, or is that only Hisuian Quillfish? I can't remember off the top of my head.
Its poor swimming skills give it a complex like Piloswine, where anything it can see is a potential threat, so it's incredibly violent. But a poison type is only as dangerous as the poison he
Okay, yeah, so it is poison type.
It just so happens that
oh god, Hisuian's dark poison? That's even worse.
Fainting doesn't sound that bad, but where are you gonna be tangling with a Quillfish? The water, and the doggy paddle gets a lot harder to perform when you can't move.
Oh
Just
yeah.
wait until we get to Hisui, where he can't stop puffing up. As for the 5th best Poképet,
of course,
isn't it weird
Togetic.
That this was Togepi's final evolution for a few regions?
Oh god,
this
yeah.
Thing is begging to evolve. This is not the neck of a confident final evolution. Now, no necks. That's the future.
No necks are
comes
in.
From the absolutely blessed Togepi line and is the highest rated friendship Pokemon. That means
big ol' friend
yourself
Pokemon.
And are only just now reaping the benefits. When it's around kind-hearted people...
Oh yeah, don't even get me started on Overquill.
Or, as one Dex entry insists on calling it, Joy Dust. Do not inhale the Joy
Dust.
The only
that sounds like a different name for a certain little bit of nose candy. Some angel dust.
A lot of jerk friends. It makes Togetic sad. It doesn't make it sick or make it die. You'll just disappoint it.
Oh,
this is a
you don't want a
who's
disappointed
so kind,
Pokemon.
You might start getting imposter syndrome. Like, surely I don't deserve this. Guess
surely
what,
not.
You do. Number 4 for the worst
I deserve it.
You had one-shot ghost types and
real talk though, I do love Misdreavus. I love Misdreavus. I love Miss Magius. I love, God, what the hell is the name of its Paradox Pokemon? Uh, I can't remember off the top of my head. No, that's not. It's not Slitherwing. It's Slitherwing is the Volcarona, past Paradox. Fluttermane. That's it.
The
Fluttermane.
best you could muster was going from the second worst to the fourth worst. Hey, next list, you might actually escape the bottom 5. As long as one of you doesn't start wanting to kill children. Misdreavus's crimes extend far past only being available in Kanto. As with nothing but a head and a necklace, it can do major damage. The dex entries start gently, saying it loves to annoy and spook people by biting their hair and screaming in their face when they sleep. That's the nice
Misdreavus, you little shitter.
By Alola, though, they started to realize, why play it so subtly?
Of course, Alola. Of course, Alola just starts making things worse.
Children. It flat out admits that its entire reason for living is just to scare people. Listen, ghost types, stop being so bad and I'll start being nicer. Speaking of nicer, is number 4 best.
It's just a sunflower.
Never been on a list that either wasn't worst fully evolved Pokemon or best Pokemon themed after the sun. In all fairness, Sunflora is an extremely safe pick.
Oh, yeah.
First Pokemon
I mean, it's just literally a sunflower.
As a pet. It's not physically or specially intimidating. It's got no secondary typing that drags down a fantastic grass typing. It doesn't have much negative in its dex entries. Truly, Sunflora managed to get this far, not because it's especially standout like a Togetic or the later picks. It makes it this far because it's very plain. And
yeah, I mean,
it's not the worst thing when your
there's
dog...
not really much you can complain about Sunflora. It's just a sunflower. I don't know what you want from me.
Can't bend space and time. Number 3 worst could stand to learn a lesson from that.
Oh
man.
Oh my god.
For pseudo legendary.
Tyranitar.
Last gen, Dragonite. Friend-shaped. Sailors. Good. Tyranitar. Evil. Nasty.
Yeah, it's just
green.
ground dark type.
Who would be green? Dragonite, sweetie, I know you're just trying to make me feel better.
Oh, Dragonite. Dragonite's such a sweetie.
Featuring nicknames like a mobile disaster and mountain mover, his destructive potential can't be understated.
Like, this motherfucker is just straight up Godzilla.
Can rearrange entire mountain ranges during its very frequent temper tantrums and can be felt coming from a mile away.
I mean, it's literally Tyrant. It's literally a tyrant.
Most any Pokemon.
Like, for real, like, literally.
Armor means that not only is it impossible to take down, it knows it. Tyranitar,
yeah, it's a big old toughie.
Is an incredibly headstrong Pokemon, thanks to its bulk, and will throw that weight around. The only people it spares are people too weak to put up a fight.
Also, one thing that's very weird about me, Tyranitar's like blue spot, it's always stuck out as weird to me because I always expect it to be red like Larvitar. And I can't remember if it's red in the shiny and Larvitar's is blue in the shiny. I can't remember off the top of my head. But it's always weird to me that it's not the other way around.
Big talk coming from Mr. 4 times weak to fighting. It also might not have the easiest time against our number 3 best Pokepet. Yep,
God, I love Blossom too.
For a line that bottomed out at Steelix levels of "you're so lucky you have a cute face," Blossom takes the Oddish line all the way to a 3rd place finish.
Wow.
What was holding it back was the poison.
Yeah,
Blossom
that'll do it.
For one thing and one thing only: dancing. When the sun emerges,
it's doing that thing.
Happily, improving moods and releasing wonderful scents. If the sun isn't out, surprise, it has a dance to call forth the sun.
Oh, that's good.
Will stop this thing from dancing.
Perpetual
and with all the
sun
benefits that it brings, far be it from me to stop it. For the number 2 worst Pokemon,
okay, yeah, of course.
From number 1 might be a shock.
Of course.
Yep, the elephant finally entered the room. So
there's Mr. Hot as the Sun.
Pet scene like an anvil, cause it seems like a conversation isn't even necessary. Magcargo is said to clock in at over 18,000 degrees and boils water on contact with its skin. Yeah, I think it also ignites the atmosphere, but sure, let's talk about the water. Now,
Yeah.
the Pokedex can
Yeah.
exaggerate on occasion, especially in regard to what these things can do to Indian elephants. So, can we really trust 18,000 degrees?
Why are there so many Pokedexes that involve like what they can do specifically to Indian elephants? Why?
How are you even gonna get an accurate measurement on something like that? If you go based on the real-world equivalent to magma, you're looking at nearly a ninth of that measurement at only 2,000 degrees.
So
that's
it's
much more reasonable.
Why is it 18,000 degrees then?
2,000 degrees is how hot Magcargo's body is, but that doesn't automatically mean it's gonna be 2,000 degrees everywhere it goes. People have been able to get around 5 feet away from an active lava flow in little more than a t-shirt and cargo shorts and feel like they're near a fireplace. Magcargo is far less fatal than you'd first assume by reading its hyperbolic dex entry. But it's still magma.
It's literally a magma slug.
To ignite wood by getting too close to it, evaporate water, burn you. What keeps Magcargo out of the worst is a combination of how it's not as dangerous as it seems, but it's also not badly behaved.
Yeah, it's like, it's not entirely awful.
Brittle and it's afraid of the rain, so it sounds kind of like a scaredy cat to me. Even with an okay personality, Magcargo still earns its low spot. As for the
that
top
minus
spot,
10 safety.
we got a tie. The last two Pokemon
They're
are
sharing
so
the bronze
fantastic and
podium.
lovable, they each got a perfect score. Truthfully, they both get first place, so take their placement with a grain of salt. We might as well be going alphabetically. We're going alphabetically. Number 2
Of course.
best Pokepet goes to... Where is he? Majestic.
The little fella.
Awe-inspiring.
I have 4 ferrets, and I wish every one of them were a ferret. Imagine just having 4 of these little fellers walking around. I want one. I want oodles of them. I want the ferret as like a neck pillow. I want the neck pillow ferret. I want it. I want it so bad.
Ferret. There have been Pokemon like Azumarill where their amazing aspects are kind of hard to put into words. With Ferret, I find it near impossible.
Yeah, look at his little fella.
He wants to live in your couch cushions and chase Rattatas. How could you hate him? Imagine using him as a neck pillow when you sleep.
Exactly. Also, if they're anything like my ferrets, who have a tendency to take their toys and hide them by climbing up into the internals of my oven and then hiding them in like the little under oven drawer. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, ferrets are such wild little fellas. They're so funny.
Imagine how good he is at giving hugs. Imagine picking anybody other than Ferret. Alright, I did, sorry. The come down to the absolute worst Pokemon in Johto, though, is...
Hey there, Professor Jolt. Welcome to the HQ.
Like a plane crashing.
Oh my god. All this reminds me of is, God, it was, I can't remember where I saw it, but it was like... It was a screenshot. I think it was of Scarlet and Violet. It was like, it was captioned like white woman moment, and it was just someone taking a picture, a selfie with like this like sinister grin on their face and 6 Houndooms behind them. White woman moment.
Oh, big shock. The Hellhound isn't nice.
Houndoom
is a hauntingly evil Pokemon. Mix 2 types that underperform on their own and put
fire
it on a
and
with
dark.
The personality of a hot brand. The conversation should begin and end at its horrible attitude and aggressive nature.
It's just a straight up evil fire Rottweiler.
Asshole in such unique ways. First up is its fire, which is created by igniting toxins. God damn it! This unique
Why
way
is
of
it
making
toxic
fire?
fire?
The fire also smells awful.
Why?
While you're burning to death, everybody around you is gonna have to hold their nose.
Bruh.
Let's say the impossible happens and you survive a Houndoom attack. Well, the horror show's only just begun,
Like,
as the toxins
genuinely,
in
why?
Houndoom's fire serve a secondary purpose. Once you're burned with a Houndoom's flame, the pain never ends.
Hey, Philippines Weeks.
However long you choose to make the rest of your life is going to be spent feeling like you're on fire. There's a reason older cultures thought he was the Grim Reaper. No, turns
genuinely,
out he's just working on
why?
commission for him.
Why is Houndoom so awful?
If you own one, no one is gonna believe you're not a serial killer.
And thank you for the follow, Philippines Weeks. Welcome to the HQ.
And after a whole list of calling Pokemon dogs, who'd have thought that the whole thing would be bookended by 2 dogs?
Oh.
I didn't believe it at first. I really didn't.
Brimble.
This big old
old
looks like
fairy
the furthest
puppy.
thing from a good pet. He looks like the furthest thing from anything else.
It's a big old pupper.
But lo and behold, it's actually the best of the best. So what is it about Granbull that makes him such a perfect pet? Well, first off, he's a fairy.
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
So let's go with that. The first thing you have
Fairy.
to learn about
Fairy type, yeah.
Granbull is how much its looks deceive you. What looks like the world's toughest guard dog is little more than an overly pampered puppy who's more timid than anything.
Aw.
He hates fighting and
Poor
causing
puppy.
trouble and just wants to be a good boy.
He just
If
wants to.
Mastiffs
He just
can
wants to
good
be a
dogs,
little.
then
He
so
just
can
wants to be a
Granbull.
little lap
He'll fight
dog.
if he absolutely has to, but if it can be avoided, he'll just run away. That actually makes him kind of unpopular with people who want him to be a guard dog or a nasty
God,
pit bull that
imagine
can
getting-
set on people. But
imagine
he's
getting
just
him
not
one
that
of them
kind of dog. The
as, like,
Pokedex calls him totally incompetent as a guard dog.
Oh,
Harsh, but at least you're
Oh,
pointing
poor
people in
puppy.
the right direction. So
He's just
you're
a big
totally safe
puppy.
around it. It's as easy to house as a dog, has the perfect typing, easy to take care of, and best of all, is a total scaredy sweetheart.
He's a
Granbull
pupper,
just
big
needs
old
a little
boy.
love, and you've got the perfect pet. So, what's the takeaway from all this? It seems like this should all be cut and dry, but then you see an example like this. A short all about how kind Slugma is, and notice how the girl isn't melting. Later,
Yeah.
her grandma is knitting with Ariados, and that guy was way down on the list. Meanwhile, this Togekiss is more than happy to see the entire human race extincted. What I'm trying to say
it's,
is that as much as you want to
Pokemon can be pretty subjective, yeah.
Pokemon at the end of the day is such a fantastical work of fiction that you really can't. There's probably a loving and caring Houndoom out there, or a nasty and rotten Furret. Ultimately,
a
I don't
rotten,
think
nasty
there's
Furret.
any point at trying to rank them like this.
But we're doing it anyway.
It's like, Digimon won again, baby! Pop the champagne! We never
Digimon win.
again. It's always Agumon o'clock. We're watching the Digimon movie tonight, boys. Angela and
Oh my God.
Another win for the good guys.
Maybe I should watch Digimon.
Remember, children, sometimes the worst hells are of our own creation. Sunflora,
Oh. Oh, we got another one of these, huh?
Bat, Polytoad,
Oh, boy.
Noctowl, Houndour, Heracross, Natu, Time,
We got it.
Rogue, Ariados, Lugia, Steelix, Phampi, Ampharos. I
God,
didn't even know there was a Johto Poké-Rap.
I did
'Cause
not.
It sucks. It's not nearly as good or iconic as the original.
Yeah.
Like, these singers are being beaten to death by this rhythm. As am I. I'm not trying to say that I'm any better. I'm just trying to say Pseudo-Wudo,
Why did they go from, like, a hip-hop rap song to, like, steady, like, grunge?
Miltank, Totodile, Gligar.
It's so
Lantern,
weird.
Skarmory, Spinarak, Tyranitar. I even had to get a new version of the song made just so I didn't get killed by copyright. Who I will credit Egophobia created this song, and
very
they are
good.
absolutely fantastic, a joy to work with. They turned absolute dog piss into lemonade. Chikorita, Dunsparce, Aipom, Pupitar, Porygon 2, Cyndaquil, Elekid, Raikou, Wobbuffet, Typhlosion,
I'm all kinds of bouncy.
Granbull, Pokemon, Stantler, Espeon, Ledyba, Togepi. There's also singing in between the Pokemon, which makes this so much harder to fill. So let's nourish the brain a bit. This is the opening to The Great Gatsby. In my younger and more vulnerable years, my father gave me some advice that I've been turning over in my mind ever since.
Oh.
Whenever you feel like criticizing anyone, he told me, just
Yeah,
remember
it's,
that all those people in the world have
yeah.
the advantages that you've had.
The Poké-Rap back in the day was pretty cringe. But we're just sitting here through it, I guess.
All forced to read in middle school and never really
We're enjoying the cringe. We're enjoying the cringe, everybody.
Quillfish, Azumarill, Crocodile, Snubble,
So all of a sudden.
Yanma, Smoochum, Slow King, Blissey, Caesar, Don.
This is so
Houndy,
funny.
Moctillery, Whooper, Mary, Hitmontop,
What is this?
Umbreon, Bailey.
God, it's
What's your
so
guys' favorite
bad.
Pokemon? Mine used to be Heracross, but I sort of warmed up. Skunkern, Ledian, Girafarig,
Cut
Murkrow,
off.
Remoraid, Jumpluff, Quilava,
I'm just sitting here
Spearow,
yapping.
Magcargo, Ferret,
Hi there, I'm Tacos. Welcome to the HQ.
Magby, Zatumba, Street.
You still going?
Tick, Chuckle, Quagsire, Pineco, Chinchou,
He's still going.
Hoppip, Kingdra, Unown, Cleffa, Suicune, Delibird, Sentry, Skiploom.
Oh, God.
Now I think it might be Electivire.
Electivire is pretty great. Well, now we know who is the best and worst pet for the Johto region. For the worst pet, it's the evil dog. Who would have thought? The toddler eater itself. And then, of course, for the best pet, it just had to be the Digimon again. Just had to be. Well, thankfully, we don't have any, hopefully, not any evil dogs. Well, actually, no, there's Mighty Anna in Hoenn. But there's no Digimon in Hoenn, so there has to be a new best Pokemon once we get there. But that'll be for next time. But what's your favorite Johto Pokemon? What Johto Pokemon would you have as a pet? Let me know down in the comments below. And of course, don't forget to hit like on the video and subscribe to the channel and ding that bell so you know when I upload and it helps me out in the algorithm. And as always, I will see you next time at the HQ. Bye-bye.